cult members, and welcome to Pop Culture Cult. I'm Sean.
I'm Janice.
And welcome to our spoiler review, reaction review to episode 3 of Falcon and Winter Soldier called Power Broker.
Yep. Which we still don't know who that is.
We still don't know who that is. It better be somebody really important, or the buildup is the astrophysicist or whatever it was in WandaVision that ended up being not anybody. Aerospace engineer, whatever it ended.
Maybe.
But I feel it could be Zola. The Power Broker could be Zola. From the beyond in the computer. Kind of. Anyways, I think it'd be interesting if it's him. This episode is the full-on spy.
Yeah.
Episode.
Yeah.
We got some episodes about building some character and some understanding of the world where we're at.
Yep.
5-6 months after the blip, the unblipping.
Yep. I feel like we're full into it now.
Yes. And we built a very interesting little team here.
Yeah.
The episode starts with them going to see Sam and Bucky going to see Baron Zemo in prison.
Right.
And that's where we left off in the previous episodes. It makes sense that we start there in this episode.
Yep.
And Bucky goes in alone, which
because they have a history.
And Zemo tries to use the words on him.
Yep.
Which I thought that scene had to happen for me. So I was really happy when that happened.
Yeah.
Like, the rest of the episode is frosting essentially on that cake. Because he tried to use the words on him, and Bucky made a point of saying, like, that's the old me.
Yep. Not anymore.
Yeah.
So, which is, I mean, he's got to try, right? He's got to see if he really has been converted or whatever.
Rehabbed.
Or
whatever. Yeah. They have a very interesting conversation about trying to stop the super soldier serum program from actually happening, which is Zemo's life's work. Really, is to stop superheroes from existing.
Right. Yeah, because in his mind, they are directly responsible for killing his family. So
yes, and it comes up later that Zemo asks them if they ever, after Sokovia, the surrounding countries all picked it dry before they could even start to go in and see if they could rebuild.
Yeah,
other countries came in and picked them dry and wiped it off the map. And now there's just a memorial. And he asked Sam and Bucky if they've ever been to the memorial.
Right. Which I thought, they've only been back for a hot second. So, they've only been back, 6 months or whatever, because they both got snapped. Yeah. So, I mean, you might want to cut him a little bit of slack.
But Zemo doesn't view the world that way. So,
no, he doesn't. No.
But they did not talk about if Zemo got snapped or not.
They did not.
He talked about being in prison a couple different times.
Yeah,
and
I think
kind
the
of
assumption is that he
didn't.
didn't.
I think he mentioned the timeline that he was in.
Yeah.
A few times.
Which he's probably like, God damn it.
Right.
I have the worst luck. I could have gotten snapped. And...
Yeah. And I also feel like he's just a patient person. So.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Because I mean, he was in Civil War. Yeah. So. Yeah, he'll wait. He, his character didn't get fleshed out a whole lot in Civil War, and I feel like it's very interesting. Like, is Baron his first name or his title?
Right.
And because he's freaking rich, I mean, he's got all these.
I liked the way they kind of explained it. That when he spent all this time trying to take down Hydra to get to the super serum program, that he just took whatever person he eliminated, he just took whatever they had.
Right.
And
yeah. Because I mean, before, I thought he was a soldier.
He was a soldier. Yes.
Okay.
Like they're Black Ops or something like that. In Sokovia,
whatever. And I mean, you kind of get the idea that Sokovia is not necessarily third world, but kind of behind the Iron Curtain
I was
type.
I was going to say one
not,
of those Sokovian, the Slavic states.
Yeah, more
Russia,
like a working class kind of country. And so I was just shocked that he had all these resources. And then, is he a bad guy? Is he a good guy? He's a little like he shows. First of all, the jacket. Like,
the jacket's freaking amazing.
Are you the Red Baron? And then he shows up in a Cadillac convertible or something. He's just got this really strange sense of humor, irony.
Very dry. Like Daniel Brohl, the actor Daniel Brohl, who's playing Zemo, is a very dry kind of person anyways. Watch him in The Alienist. He's amazing in that show.
Yeah.
And he was Argent Senate, no. Landa, no. In Rush with Chris,
right. Isn't he Lauder?
Yeah, I can't remember. Anyways, but he's very dry as a person, and he's very dry as an actor, not in a bad way. But that's who he is. Yeah. And when and then he pours it on with Zemo, and Zemo is just super dry. Like even when he makes a joke, it's very dry with a slight grin, and it's very
just not the character I thought he was going to be. Not in a bad way. I'm enjoying it, but just not. If you'd asked me last week who he was, I would have just said this super intense guy that has no other thought than to avenge his family, and he's got
taste and style and charisma all that stuff, which you need to be a supervillain, which he is essentially a supervillain. However, in this show, I don't know if there is a quote-unquote villain.
Right. Well, he's like the enemy of my enemy is my friend, so they all kind of have to work together to get the power broker.
To get to find out the super serum, to get to the power broker, like all that stuff. Yeah. Sam and Bucky have this really long conversation in this garage, which I think is funny. And Bucky does this like, let me put a make-believe scenario in front of you about how you could possibly break Zemo out, while the whole time Zemo's breaking out that way.
Yeah.
And I knew from the trailers, we knew that Zemo was going to get out of prison. We knew that. It makes sense for the story and everything like that. I just didn't think that this was the way they were going to do it. To have Sam and Bucky, specifically Bucky, be the one who breaks him out.
Yeah.
And I thought that was cool.
Yeah. I didn't really think about how they were going to get him out, if it was just going to be
I thought it was going to be a bum rush.
Yeah.
Like they were just going to, Falcon was going to fly in with the wings and Bucky was going to bang down the door and like that. But this was much more tradecraft, spy stuff, sleight of hand kind of thing. Once they get out, we get the scene where we go through the resources of everything. And then they get on a private jet.
Right.
Back to the Zemo's got and there's a nice little joke in there about the food maybe not being good on the
right.
food.
So feed it to them.
Feed it to them. That shit that was
because it's been sitting around for 5 years.
Yeah. But they go to Madripoor. Now from the trailers again, we knew that if you put 2 and 2 and 2 together, you get 7, and that became Madripoor. So it made a lot of sense that they would go to a place that Zemo would have connections to the underworld, and knowing that it's the Brotherhood without banners, without flags,
smashers of flags,
flag smashers. I know. It's been Brotherhood without banners in my head, and I was stuck.
It's the same thing.
It's the same thing. You knew they had connections to Madripoor, so they go there. Very like stylized Hong Kong kind of view.
Yeah.
It's very Tortuga also, because pirates used to kind of run it, and it's very, all the shady stuff goes on there and stuff.
Right.
I thought that was kind of a cool introduction, and they all had to play a version of themselves,
right?
But like the bad guy version,
right?
Although Zemo just went full in Zemo with the freaking, that coat is amazing. But Sam had to play Tiger Lily or Tiger Claw or whatever it was, this pimp. So he's black American, so of course he's a pimp, and this terrible suit. And
well, it's like Wakanda-y.
it had purple and yellow and green and all that stuff, and the big gold chain, and then Bucky had to play the Winter Soldier,
right?
And
that was easy.
They had a scene where a bar fight, when they're trying to get to whoever it was in the bar. There's a bar fight, and Zemo says to Sam, the Winter Soldier fell back into his old ways. Really
see how easy he fell back into his old ways or whatever.
And and I thought that was cool, because Bucky does the whole bar fight by himself and everything, which is exactly what would have happened if it was the Winter Soldier.
Yeah.
But as soon as he said that line, the Winter Soldier scream happened.
Yeah.
And then the fight ends and whatever. They go upstairs and they talk to somebody. Zemo offers up the Winter Soldier for information, to get to whoever is making the super soldier serum,
right?
Syndrome, and in that, Sam's sister calls.
Right.
And they have a full-on conversation, and Sam tries to stay in character.
Yeah.
Which is, again, a very spy craft kind of thing. I love that leaning into, we're playing somebody else and it never goes the way you think it's going to go.
Right.
So you have to kind of
always turn your ringer off on your phone.
Yes. In that, they have talks about Hightown and Lowtown. We're going to Lowtown because that's where all my connections are with Zemo. We don't know anybody in Hightown, so we don't go to Hightown. We stay away from that. They have all the fight breaks out and everything happens within the suite. Everybody gets killed inside the suite. That's not Zemo, Bucky, and
right, because they figure out, because of the phone call, that Sam is Sam.
It's Sam and not.
And then suddenly
Tiger Roar or whatever.
Suddenly the assistant or whatever just gets shot. Out of nowhere. So obviously someone is helping them. But then they take out everybody else and then run off.
And then they get full John Wick.
Yeah.
You get the John Wick running through New York, and all the bounty hunters getting their phone calls saying...
Except they're running through Madripoor. Yeah. All their cell phones go off, and they're like, ew.
I that was a nice little... It was a short scene, but very kind of a nice little connection to that over there. Mm-hmm. In that conversation, they did get a name, and then they kind of get cornered, and all of a sudden somebody starts sniping at all the bad guys around them. And Sharon Carter shows up, and she says, "Come with me if you want to live." And they go to Hightown. Now she's in Hightown, and in that she talks about how she's the one that stole the wings and the shield, and hasn't been able to go back to the States, and she's made a new life for herself, with her skills. As an agent of S.H.I.E.L.D. in Madripoor.
Yeah, and I find that interesting because they don't really talk about it other than that. Like, why wouldn't she have been?
Now, I remember... I don't remember if it's Winter Soldier. I think it's Winter Soldier. Where she is testing to get into the FBI after S.H.I.E.L.D. collapses.
Right.
And then in Civil War, when Zemo has the attack and they kill T'Chaka, she is there in Germany and gets the information and stuff.
And then when I thought when Sam and Cap and everybody come back, I thought that they mentioned her there. I know they mentioned her somewhere else.
Yeah, but she wasn't in Infinity
That she
War.
helped them
Yeah.
stay undercover for that, however, 2 years or whatever that they were gone. But then, I mean, you just don't see her again. But I'm just wondering, is it because she's not special? You know, I mean, Sam's not technically an Avenger, but he was Avenger adjacent, right? And he had these
right
kind of superhero-ish skills. And is it just because she was Shield? And I don't understand why she wouldn't have gotten a pardon when everybody else did.
Yeah, I think there's a little bit of story that they haven't told yet. One.
Yeah.
But I also feel like it's Cobb from Inception. That idea of I've built it up in my head, I can't go home.
Yeah.
And if in my head I can't go home, that means it's because, you know, everything's gone bad. And as soon as I get there, like she said, as soon as I get to the United States, I'll be arrested.
Right. But has she even tried? Has anybody ever said all these people are pardoned or just come? I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. It just seemed kind of dropped. And you're like, wait, why?
I'm engaging in the story they're telling us.
Yeah.
And so I'm comfortable with letting it kind of roll for a minute and see what ends up happening. I think something is going to be explained that like she wasn't blipped and because something happened
during that time,
and right, whatever. Especially with they have a big fight scene at the it's not the Long Beach docks with all the
storage containers.
But at the end, she leaves without them, and she gets in a car and has a driver and like an assistant or whatever.
Yeah.
So there's something else going on there. She hosted a party with a real Van Gogh.
Yeah, I think it was a Van Gogh.
But there was real paintings. It was part of an auction. There was a big party and stuff. So she's obviously a big deal in Madripoor.
Right.
And so there's something else there. They kind of hint at different things, but they really don't explain it in this episode, which is fine.
Yeah.
But yeah,
And maybe she doesn't really even want to go home, but she's leading them on. Maybe she's built up this whole life here,
or she is actually working for Fury still.
Maybe.
But working on...
Maybe she's the power broker.
The power broker would be an interesting choice. Like trying to control the super soldier serum, the SSS. But it would be interesting that that's who she is. I don't think so, because she is so beloved as a character.
Yeah.
That having her be the actual big bad in the show would be kind of a slap in the face.
Maybe.
To everybody that kind of... But I also think that she has done some stuff to make her think that she can't go home. So that's gonna... Yeah. They go to the docks. After they get the name, they go to the docks and they find this crate. It has a false door in the back, which is a really kind of fun, tense scene. Zemo's the one who figures out the false door in the back. They go downstairs. There's a lab, and the lab, the doctor in there tells the story about how he was working for Shield, or the government. Was it the government?
I don't think he said Shield.
I don't think he said Shield, but he was working for the U.S. government and had been working on the serum and hadn't been able to figure it out on his own. No, he was working for Hydra. That's what it was. He was working for Hydra, hadn't been able to figure it out with all the stuff that they had. Hydra dissolved because of everything that happened in Winter Soldier, and then he got recruited by the U.S. government, and they had blood samples of somebody who actually was able to who actually got the serum,
right,
and was able to manipulate the way it was made from that,
right,
to make it a little bit more where you don't go psycho like Red Skull and the other Winter Soldiers,
right,
and all that kind of
right.
stuff.
Yep, kind of tone it down a bit.
So, but that blood sample was directly from Isaiah Bradley.
Yeah.
Which was talked about in the last episode, where he was, again, he was created after Cap had gone on the ice and was Black Captain America in the 60s and 70s, 50s, 60s, and 70s. And he was pretty much put in prison and tested on, which is what they wanted to do.
Right. We still don't know how he got it. Yeah.
But so now we have A, and we have D, and we have E, and we have G. Like we're like the pieces are coming in in the story of this serum. And so in that, we get that he was able to figure it out. There was only 20 vials. The Flag Smashers stole it. They stole all of the 20 vials.
Yep.
8 of them took it.
Yep.
So there's another 12 out there.
Yep.
And once he talked about that, Zemo shot him.
Yep.
Staying in character.
I mean, how else was that going to go?
Right.
Because Sam's all like pissed off about it, and it's like, well, are you gonna let him live?
Right.
I mean,
right. Either way, he needs to be removed from the board. Yeah.
Yeah. So, are you going to take him with you and have him arrested? What actually were you going to do?
And you're not going to be able to get out of Madripoor with him.
Yeah.
Like, it's just not going to happen.
Yeah.
So it makes complete sense to shoot him. Yeah, it makes complete sense to shoot him. While this is all going on, Sharon's outside kicking everybody's ass.
And I'm like, you all have comms. You can hear what's going on out there that she's getting, and you're all just calmly standing there having a conversation with this doctor. Little help? No? All right.
I want to say that she said, like, I've got this outside, but you need to take care of what's going on inside. There was something in there, but it was still, it was still pretty awesome. Like, Bucky couldn't go out and helped or something like that or whatever.
It doesn't take 3 of you to interrogate this guy who's answering all your questions.
Yes. They shoot a rocket launcher, blow up everything. They escape. In the escape, Zemo gets taken, is separated from Sharon, Bucky, and Sam.
Yep.
And it feels very much that the shot from the trailer where Zemo's walking along the
with his little mask thing on
feels very much like he's leaving on his own.
He's escaping.
And everybody else is pinned down and out of bullets. Zemo fires on the gas line. The gas line blocks essentially the 3 of them, keeps them safe. He goes down, kicks everybody's ass on his own. Oh, by the way, he's a badass too.
Right.
He finds a car, and again, it feels like he's leaving, but he did save them. So, okay, he's not a terrible, terrible person.
Right.
So now the 3 of them are trying to figure out what they're going to do next, and he comes around the corner with the Firebird, whatever. Yeah. And he's like, and it's supercharged. Like it was like pimp jacket, cool car, in the conversation with the doctor, they got another name. It's the name. To work their way up the list.
It's like National Treasure.
It is totally National Treasure, but it was the connection directly with Carly.
Yeah. And it's the Dona Madonna.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is the older woman who was dying.
Yeah.
In the scene that Carly. So I'm assuming it's her mother
or mother figure at least, or something along that line. And so, and she kind of seemed like the inspiration for them to go steal everything.
Yeah. Well, I'm kind of thinking that, I think they said what was wrong with her. Tuberculosis. So I'm kind of wondering if she was hoping to get her the serum, and then that would have cured her.
Oh, that's a good point. Yeah.
But she didn't get it to her in time before she, got to a point. I'm also wondering if the tuberculosis is going to be maybe something kind of like a Zemo situation where she got it because she was in this camp.
They said something along the line of tuberculosis is high in refugee camps.
Okay.
Which
gives her the chip on her shoulder to
Yeah.
go, I have to take all these people down
Yeah.
because of them she is dying or whatever.
I really this is the first kind of backstory we're getting, like proper backstory we're getting with the Flag Smashers.
Yeah.
And specifically Carly and why she is so radical in what she's trying to do and what she's trying to get to.
But then you also get a little bit of her and the other guy talking, and she's like, I wanted to be a teacher. And, so she's humanizing her a little bit.
And then she is dehumanized later on. At the very start of the episode, we get a commercial for the Global Reintegration Society, the System Center, or whatever, which is directly involved with helping people who were blipped being brought back.
Right.
And how the world has changed and laws have changed and borders have changed and people have changed and this group is there. They're kind of like the UNICEF or the Red Cross or something like that, where they have all this supplies and stuff like that they're taking to refugee camps and helping people get reintegrated into the system. Come to find out, however, the one particular spot that the Flag Smashers go to, they've been sitting on it for 6 months.
Right. Well, and they're not, because the scene where the truck pulls up, it says
GRC.
Policia on the door, and they all jump out and run in and start, smashing the place up.
And it's John Walker, the Cap, gets out.
Yeah. So they're it's a front.
It feels very much like the Hydra controlling shield in the background kind of feel. There's actually like good stuff that the system is built to be something good, and in that something good, there's cracks there, and the evil is kind of working
exploited. Maybe.
When the Flag Smashers take the stuff out of the facility, they leave everybody tied up. Everybody leaves. Carly and the other guy, I can't remember what his name is. They go to leave, and they blow up the car closest to the building where everybody's tied up.
Which blows up the building. She specifically, not
right.
Dave, because he was like, hey, there were still people in there,
and
not anymore.
And she says this is the only language that they will listen to. Or something along that line. And it's escalation. It's the idea of escalation within wartime. You killed 1, we kill 2. You kill 4, we kill 50. You kill 100.
Right.
Like it's and you're not gonna pay attention unless I blow up a bus full of school kids.
Right.
But if I blow up a bus full of military guys, it's just a blink in the eye. Like it's that kind of conversation that Joker has.
Yeah.
And so it was really interesting that actually like they humanized her a lot, and Flag Smashers have a complete you understand their motivation a ton.
Right.
And but then they turn around and are way beyond probably what they should be doing. They're overstepping the line. They're stepping over the line.
Maybe.
That's what it feels like.
Yeah. I don't know.
They're presenting.
Sometimes you got to do what you got to do.
Yeah, absolutely.
To get people to listen.
They talk about on the plane. Bucky and Sam talk about on the plane about stealing. Finally, we discussed we're going to take the shield back. There was discussion of instead of Sam giving it up, actually melting it down.
Yeah.
So the symbol of it and the symbol of the system that is that is kind of taken away. The symbolism of what the government is using it for instead of what actually it was meant to be an inspiration and not a marketing tool kind of thing.
Right.
They have that kind of conversation on the plane, and Bucky finally says, I'm just going to steal it. And Sam does not say no.
Right.
And then they decide to go to wherever it was. I don't remember where the lady was. Zemo says, I know a place that's nearby. We can go there.
Yeah.
And so they fly there. They get to the
might be
safe house. Latvia. Okay.
Latvia.
There's a safe house there. They get to the safe house. Bucky's like, "Hey, I'm going to go take a walk." And they're like, "You okay?" He's like, "Yeah, I just need to, I've had some issues, so I need to take time. He turns around and there's a bead on the ground and it's humming.
Yeah.
And he picks it up and walks down to the corner and there's another one. And he walks down the street and picks up another one. He goes in this alley and there's nobody in the alley but him. And he says, "Hey, you dropped this." And it's a really cool tag. He's looking down one aisle, one way of the alley. And the camera's from the side, but they show the alley. There's nothing in the alley.
Yeah.
But they follow him and do a tracking shot as he turns around and looks at the other direction behind him. One continuous shot. And then he's like, "I was wondering when you were going to show up." And he turns back around, and it's one of the Dormer from Wakanda is there, and she says, "I'm here for Zemo."
Yep.
And then the episode ends.
Yep.
So there was discussion that we would get some Wakanda-ness in this because it is, it's the White Wolf now. It's not the Winter Soldier.
Right. And, ultimately he did kill the Black Panther's dad.
T'Chaka.
Yeah, was he Black Panther?
He was Black Panther and King.
As King, yeah.
And then but yeah, it's interesting that again, the enemy of my enemy is my friend with Zemo right now, or is he playing, like, his motivation again makes a lot of sense, like him trying to kind of say, like, we shouldn't have superpowered people,
right?
And
what does Wakanda do, right? I mean, does Sam and Bucky convince them to let him continue to work with them? Are they even gonna go for that?
Yeah.
Or, what kind of position does that put them in? And if they take him, then what happens?
Right.
Or do they get all of Wakanda, or get some Wakanda resources to go after the power broker or whoever?
Yeah. When Carly and the other guy were planning the break-in, they were out in front of the GRC location. She says that the doctor who made the super soldier serum, I'm going to get it right at least once, is dead, and now the power broker is going to not come after them, but is going to bargain with them.
Yeah, because they've got the last.
Because they've got the last of the serum, so you have that. With the power broker hanging out there, you got Zemo doing his own little thing, and now we have Wakanda added in.
Right.
Oh, by the way, we still have Sharon Carter and whatever she's doing, and Magdrafor, and John Walker, who is obviously enhanced.
Yeah.
He's obviously enhanced, and I kind of feel at some point in time, Sam's going to have to take the serum too. To really be Captain America the way he should be.
Yeah.
But also I feel like Zemo might try to take the last vial to help him, the Van Helsing kind of version of the world.
Yeah.
Keep myself alive long enough to keep Dracula at bay.
Yeah.
Kind of idea.
Yeah.
I think that could be an interesting story point. But we only have 3 episodes left. Now it's 3 hours, so
yeah.
But it's it's
stuff's got to happen.
Yeah, but the power broker introduction I think will be either at the end of the next episode or episode 5.
Yeah. Okay.
And at this point in time, the power broker is the big middle chess piece that everything is pointing towards.
Right.
And so something in there has to happen.
Have they said, does this, like, WandaVision leads into the next Doctor Strange movie? Does this lead into...
This is supposedly, as I understand it, I could be wrong, so please be nice in the comments. I believe this is a standalone thing.
Okay.
I do want to say there was discussion that this is going to be a multi-season series.
Oh, I thought it was just these 6 episodes.
There was one of the shows that they were going to do that was going to be like a 3 season arc. But I don't remember which one it was. I also could be thinking of something that's from the Star Wars cross universe thing that's going on with the Mandalorian. But I feel like there's I'm trying to think of what's coming.
Loki,
TV wise, Loki's coming, and What If's kind of on its own.
Yeah.
Movie wise, we have Black Widow, so it could be some connection with Black Widow in there with Taskmaster and stuff like that.
Yeah, but I thought Black Widow should have been out by now.
Black Widow would have been out first before Falcon and Winter Soldier, so all that storytelling is kind of funky. But then you have Eternals, you got Shang-Chi and the Nine Rings. So the Nine Rings is going to be something, but I don't know if the Nine Rings are involved in here. And then everything going forward is mystic, cosmic. It's not very Earth based.
Yeah.
And so, or multiverse with, Spider-Man and stuff like that. But we got Blade out there, which is going to be a thing. Fantastic Four, that's cosmic. You got Eternals, that's cosmic. Like all that. So I think this is just a standalone on its to maybe wrap a bow up on the post blip.
Yeah.
World, or to lay the groundwork for the post-blip world moving forward.
Yeah.
So it's interesting, and we're in storytelling wise, it's 2023, and we're in 2021. So I'm trying to think of what's coming after 2023 in the real world that I just can't think of it off the top of my head. So
okay.
We'll see what happens. Anything else? I'm sure we forgot something. Let us know what you thought of this episode and our reaction to it in the comments down below. Please like this video, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell for notifications, and follow us on all our social media stuff, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. And until next time, cult members, good afternoon, good evening, and good night now.